But with the rise of like the ads that are coming up, man, I I don't know. I feel like being an SE now, like sales engineering, is such a trending topic.
It is.
They've made it, they've made it hot now. Like it's this role that I feel not everyone necessarily knows about. They heard about it, like just like the sound bites, like, oh, you don't have to worry about doing cold calling, and you'll make more money than what you made in your previous career. So you should try this. And I don't know, like I wanted to ask you, like, what are your thoughts about this whole like trending thing of SE? Like, is it, yeah. I mean, like, I guess we could start unpacking from there, but just like I saw the ads and I asked someone, actually, I asked a few people, and their responses were, well, I was on TikTok and I saw, XYZ company promoting their academy to learn how to become a sales
Yeah.
engineer. I was in this profession before. Now, they're telling me that I can get into tech and I make all this extra money and I don't have to worry about cold calling. I feel like that's like the one little soundbite
Yeah,
that
the
everybody's
cold
so
call.
like concerned about. Like, I don't have to
Yeah.
cold call or sell people.
Oh, you do have to sell people as a sales engineer, right?
See, you got to demystify that too.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I haven't attended on any of the academies, so I can't speak about them. Um, the fact of the matter is, every company does sales engineering in a different way. So you can go to an academy and go do the sales engineering thing, and then you get out and get a job. And the way you do sales engineering is completely different from what you've learned at an academy. So, and just because you went to a couple of things, just because you went to an academy doesn't mean you don't have to put in the work to get a job. Most people think, all right, like, I'm going to go do this boot camp, I'm going to go do this academy, and as soon as I'm done, a job's going to land in my lap. It's like, no, you still have to put in the work, right? And like I tell my coaching clients, like they come to me, it's like, when can you get me a job? It's like, I can't get you a job. I can teach you how to go find a job, any job you want in the world. It could be sales engineering, it could be anything else. But you have to put in the work. And if you don't want to put in the work, you're not going to be successful, whether you're before or after as a sales engineer, if you do happen to be lucky and get a job as a sales engineer. So that's one. And the second thing is, you don't need to worry about cold calls. You have to worry about so many other things. So, people talk about sales engineering as if it's the best thing since sliced bread. It has its challenges. Right? Like I have a few videos about the downside of being a sales engineer. For example, if you're an inside SE, you don't have to do cold calls, but you're on the computer from basically 9 to 5 doing one demo after another, and you can be easily replaced by a recording. Right? But yet you're still there because if someone asks a technical question, you still have to go get it. You're dealing with account managers who are double booking you for everything. Right? If you're tied one-to-one, you're dealing with account managers who don't really know much and keep asking you to do things like traveling across the country for half an hour meeting. It's like, so there are other things to worry about. I love sales engineering. I think it's the best thing ever. Right? But I always like to tell people, like, there is more to it than just meeting customers and having fun. Right? You're going to be working at midnight trying to figure out a demo, trying to figure out why your environment crashed and what you can do. How can it not happen in front of a customer? You're going to be jumping on calls with account managers telling them that, no, we cannot sell this to this customer, and them being pissed off at you. Or you're going to be blamed because you qualified a deal out and they were very much counting on that deal to make their quota, and now they're pissed at you and they're yelling at you. You're going to be dealing with customers who come to you and say, you sold us the wrong thing. Even though you didn't sell them the wrong thing, they just changed their mind halfway through the usage of the product. They wanted to do something else that was never discussed. Right? It could be, if you want to take ownership and say, like, hey, I never asked that question, that's fine. But I had to sit once with a customer and my account manager and just have the customer yell at us for an hour straight, showing us everything wrong with our product. And most of it was just user error. But you can tell the customer it's user error. At that time, he was pissed. So there's a lot more to it. You're going to have to, if you're a software designer or a network engineer or anything other than sales engineering and sales, you don't have to deal with as many people as we do on a daily basis. Right? And we just talked about personalities clash. So you might have a personality clash with the account manager. You might have a personality clash with your new SE manager, or with a teammate, or with a customer. right? You're increasing the opportunity for it to have personality clashes. And I'm not trying to convince anyone from not doing it, but not everyone is going to be successful in this role. You think you're going to be the expert in 20 products? No. You're going to be the generalist, and you're going to look at a customer who's been using your product for 20 years and they know it inside out, and they're going to be asking you, why did you do this and not that? And you're going to feel this big just because I don't know everything about my product. Like my customer has been using this product for 20 years. They know the product more than I do. But I know all 20 products a little bit more. So it's not all sunshine and rainbow. That's my big worry, that everybody thinks that sales engineering is their ticket out. There's a lot of work involved. If you're commission based, there are many years that you might not get your commission depending on your quota, depending on your salesperson. I mean, technically, as an SE or a salesperson, every year you're almost getting a pay cut. You realize that?
Say it again.
Every year you're pretty much getting a pay cut.
How so?
How so? So let's say your quota for this year is $1 million, and you hit $1.3 million. So you get paid extra. Great. Now, the powers that be saw that you made $1.3 million and say, all right, we need 10% growth. So now it's $1.43 million, your quota. But every time you get like, okay, so now your quota increased. So now you need to sell $1.7 million almost to get paid the same amount that you did the year before. If you sell $1.3 million as an SE, not as a salesperson, if you assisted the salespeople in selling $1.3 million, you make less than you did the year before. So it's effectively a pay cut. Right? You're going to have new products all the time that are coming out that may or may not sell. They changed the way we get paid our commission 1 year just to pay us less. So we used to get paid 1% of commission for every 1% of quota attained. Sounds familiar? They changed it so that you only get 0.5% or 0.6% of commission for every 1% of quota attained until you hit 60%. And then you get paid 1.7%. So unless you make $1 million, like 100%, you're not getting paid the same. You're getting paid less. So there's always these things that happen. And, yes, you get paid more. The closer you are to the customer, the more you get paid. But be careful of like lifestyle creep.
Yeah.
Because in the end, you might be broke making $300,000 the same way you were broke making 50.
Yeah.
And your life will not be any better. You just have a bigger house, you have a nicer car, which are both great for the first 3 weeks.
Yeah.
End of rant.